Welcome back, all my lifers. Thank you for staying tuned. You're listening to the Lianna Alvarez Show, Las Vegas Real Estate, The Insider's Edge, here with Lianna Alvarez. We're going to be actually implementing some great new segments into the show as we move forward. One of them is going to be a regular segment, Mortgage Matters, obviously something very pertinent to the subject matter. And we've got Terri Garcia-Linares, who is going to be making a big announcement. Terri, are you with us?
I am. Thanks, Lianna, for having me back.
Absolutely.
I'm very happy to be with you today.
I know. We're so excited to be implementing this this regular segment, Mortgage Matters. I think it's something that's so pertinent to the show and such a great piece of information. I know you have a great announcement for us today.
I do. I'm very, very pleased to announce that I've joined the Federal Savings Bank, which is a veteran-owned, federally chartered bank. And our main focus is educating our customers about the process, the mortgage process, and providing an opportunity for them to be a home and have some home ownership.
Wonderful. So Federal Savings Bank, it sounds like a very official name. You said it was veteran-owned. That's a national bank, correct?
It is. There right at this current time, they only have branches in a few states. But the mortgage division is throughout the country. I can lend in all 50 states, which is a very big plus. So even though we're talking to our local Las Vegas area, we know that most of us come from different areas and have family and friends from other areas in the country. So obviously, I can do anything for family and friends in any state.
Well, that's great. And for all of you listening, you have a great experience with the lender. You hear of family members going through, a home buying process, maybe aren't as happy with, their lender or the experience that they're having, or, they know that you had such a great experience with Terri. Now that has just extended out to a national coverage. She can help all those individuals, or we sell a property here, you're going to buy there. That's something that can, help extend as well. Terri, I know, you always have different wonderful stories and testimonials about, services that you can provide clients. Can you give me one that maybe this last week I'm sure there was something you helped out or saved a deal?
Sure, I'd love to. This is going to be one of the fun things about this new segment, Mortgage Matters, because it's going to be so up to date. Something that just happened to me this week, or you and I, something that I can really put into perspective that is happening now in the market. So one of the things I'd like to talk about at Federal Savings Bank, what we can do is called asset-based lending, which means a lot of people on fixed incomes or retired, and they're looking to buy, either downsize, upsize, whatever that may be. Maybe even just to be a co-borrower for their kids or their grandparent or their grandkids.
Right.
What we can do, instead of using just their basic income from their fixed, their retirement, their pension, their Social Security, let's say they have a lot of money in assets. We can actually break up those assets and divide them into what will be called like a monthly stipend or something that we can use as an income-based asset. So that way they can now afford the home or be that co-borrower, and we don't have to just take the fixed income that they're, getting every month. So that is a wonderful program and something we did just last week that helped, some new homeowners get into a house that they didn't think they could.
Right.
So it was great.
And really being able, I think the main basis with that story is, even what we were talking with Craig, not trying to fit everybody into a box. It's okay, what's out there? What do you need? How can we help you? You maybe don't have a huge monthly income, but you do have these assets, and now you can apply that and help that use you, or help it so that you can use it as a leveraging, as an asset for, the home buying process, whether it's for yourself or for, those loved ones, that maybe that's something you were planning to leave to them in your estate planning with Craig. And then, in the interim, you can help leverage it to help out those loved ones. That's such great.
And I'd like to talk a little bit about that box that you were talking about. One of the things that I'm very, very excited that we can do here at the Federal Savings Bank is that we can step outside of that box because we can service our own loans, and we have a portfolio that we can actually look case by case and actually see if this is just missing that one little guideline or missing that one little piece that doesn't fit into that box where we can sell, then we will service it with our own portfolio. And
it's huge.
Really, really exciting news, and I'm really excited.
That's huge.
Let everybody know that.
Absolutely. Yes. So for those of you that are out there listening, if this sounds, any of the information, with Terri, you're looking to buy, maybe you couldn't qualify with a traditional loan, go ahead and text message the word loan to 702-497-3730. Again, that's 702-497-3730. Terri can get that information to you. And Terri's going to be with us every week with this regular segment, Mortgage Matters. So, Terri, I really appreciate you taking the time from your busy schedule to, call in and be on the show today.
Thank you. I appreciate it, and I look forward to next week and keeping all your lifers up to date on what's going on in the Las Vegas market here in the mortgage industry.
Great. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
And we'll talk to you next week.
Okay. Bye-bye. Okay. Wonderful. I mean, that's huge information. I mean, Craig, that even applies into the estate planning.
Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the nice things that I like about what I do, and a lot of synergistic energies is the solutions change frequently.
Absolutely.
And therefore, we have more tools in our toolbox to bring to the table for clients in their specific circumstances.
Wonderful. You kind of touched in segment one about, holistic philosophy. Give me an explanation of whole person.
Sure. A lot of people, when they define wealth, they think of bank accounts and their house and their cars and their stock accounts and their retirement funds. But I try to get clients to look in a more broader sense about what wealth is. Because wealth is your family members and relationships. It's your stories and your memories. And if we don't find a way to incorporate that into the estate plan, then all we did was pass a bunch of dollar signs down to the family members, but where does your story go? What is your legacy? And so we try to get clients to understand what their value propositions, what motivates them, and tie that to the wealth so that their children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren remember not the dollars that they inherited, but the stories about the family members that came along with it.
Oh, what great information. Those of you that have just tuned in, you are listening to Las Vegas Real Estate, The Insider's Edge, here on KLAV 1230 AM, the talk of Las Vegas. I'm your host, Lianna Alvarez. Craig Stone, estate planning attorney, just talking about all the wonderful information and fun facts of estate planning. And I know, Craig, we've had conversations in the past about kind of the differences between estate planning for yourself as an individual and then estate planning versus an investor. And I know we're going to kind of get more into investors in the next segment, but really kind of what's that differentiation between individual and investment estate planning?
So when you're looking at it from a real estate perspective, your personal use real estate, like your primary residence. You need to look at some things during your lifetime, like number one, do you have a homestead declaration on it?
Oh, I'm huge on those. I give those to every client that buys a primary in their closing package.
And thank you for that, because I come across that all the time. And for those that are wondering, a homestead declaration helps protect the first $550,000 in equity in your house from creditors in case you're in a car accident, it's your fault, and you get sued. They can't take your house away from you. So that's issue number one on your personal real estate. Second issue is, how do you hold title? Do you hold it in your individual name? Do you hold it in joint name? Do you hold it if you have a revocable living trust? Is it in the name of the trust? And that's one of the things that we counsel our clients on, because that's going to determine whether we have to go to probate to pass title. That's going to help address whether or not we got family squabbles, and
which do happen.
And they do happen. And real quick story. I had a client that put her 3 daughters on the title to her house while she was alive. Mom then decided she wanted to sell the house and downsize. And 2 of the 3 daughters said, "Yeah, sure, Mom, it's your house." Third daughter said, "Oh no, my name's on the house. I want a piece of the proceeds."
Oh, it's such a shame.
And so by putting people's names on your house, you open that to these squabbles and possibly even their creditors. So we talked to them about how to hold title on the personal side during their lifetimes.
Okay, and I know one thing that you also provide is basically a personal legal checkup.
Yes, that is something that...
A workbook or something?
It is a workbook. Sometimes clients are a little hesitant to come in and ask the questions. So what we do is we provide a workbook that they can do a self-audit. It has a list of questions, and it has some areas just to get the client to start thinking about where their wealth is. And so they can go through the workbook, they can check yes and no, and they can identify areas of concern. And therefore, when they come in to see me or another attorney, they already have framed some of the questions that are top of mind for them.
Right, and I think it really pinpoints and puts everything in perspective. Some individuals think, "Oh, well, I don't really have that many assets, or I don't have that much going on." But really, regardless of what you have or what you plan to have, if you set it up now and you're doing this, checkup, this audit, it really pinpoints and identifies, and you may be surprised that you actually have more that you need to dictate where it's going to go and what's going to happen.
Absolutely. And I get that a lot. People say, "Well, I don't have an estate." They assume that an estate means you got to have hundreds of thousands of dollars or lots of real estate. But an estate is any asset you own.
Right.
You could have $10 in a bank account, and that constitutes an estate. And so that's part of the issue that we help educate clients on as to what that planning surrounds on estate planning.
Okay, great. So you want to stay tuned. We're going to continue with this conversation.